Hello again, Capricorn. It's July 2015. I'm Dadhichi Toth from astrology.com.au. This has to be one of the more significant months of 2015 because of the full moon and the new moon occurring across the Capricorn and Cancer axis. That's Capricorn, which is your sun sign, Cancer, which happens to be the seventh sign or the opposite sign relating to your relationships, business partnerships. And, I normally regard this as the public relations house, just how the world and yourself interact with each other. So what's happening there that's significant? Let me tell you. The first and foremost thing is the full moon on the 2nd of July occurring right next to the planet Pluto, which we've talked about, that slow-moving, transformative and extraordinarily difficult planet for some, because it actually breaks down a lot of what's going on in your life to help you re-emerge as something very, very new. And being the moon being the ruler of your seventh house of relationships indicates to me that something very significant is going to take place in that area of your life. What you may be finding is that your partner themselves is going through some radical transformation. So this is a month and a period generally, not just a month, when you need to be receptive to their needs and to be open in helping them to meet those needs for this transformative process, because the breaking down part of the process is often painful. So you need to be receptive and sensitive and supportive of your partner throughout this specific period. That's not going to be easy, because when people are going through these sorts of things, there can be all sorts of demands placed upon you, and we see that by the positioning of Mars and the Sun in that area of the zodiac relating to the relationships. So what will happen there? These hot, fiery planets, which are in fact not particularly friendly to your sun sign, can trigger all sorts of outbursts on the part of the partner. And when we look at the seventh sign for Capricorn, Cancer is in fact a very emotional sign that can cause some problems there on their part. Then to top it off, the second half of the equation, which is why I said this month is important, is that we see a new moon taking place in that area of relationships, marriage, long-term committed associations, business partnerships. So the new moon does indicate a fresh approach and a new chapter commencing in that area of your life. So that's why I say it's very, very important, and that, to my way of seeing things as an astrologer, will be the primary focus for those of you born under the sign of the goat. A couple of other aspects we need to talk about. Mercury, friendly planet for you, is moving through the 6th house of the horoscope, the sign of Gemini right now, which is very, very good for your work up until the 9th, when it moves into, you got it, the 7th house again. So we see that recurring theme. Up until the 9th, you need to be focused on your work and the methods you employ in doing your work and streamlining that work and making your communication as clear as possible, because that is where you can come unstuck. Generally, Mercury in one of its own signs, namely Gemini for you right now, should in fact be quite good and should give you, enhanced communication with the people that matter in your work, and also the people that work under you. So if you're an employer, this is an excellent time for you to reach out and let them know what you want and re-establish your relationship with them. And of course, that's going to mean you're going to bring out the best in them. Thereafter, it moves into that combative situation, conjunctions of Mars and the Sun in that 7th house, which could bring with it some problems and could be that's the prelude to the new moon that I just mentioned taking place in the foreground, the 7th house, 7th angle of your horoscope. The positioning of Venus and Jupiter in your 8th house still continue. Venus will move out of that position on the 19th when it moves to the 9th house, indicating that there may be some very strong urges to change your place of work. If you're a business owner, maybe considering expanding, or perhaps just traveling. This is a strong travel sector, the 9th house of your horoscope. It's the weak house for Venus, however, but that can be mitigated around the 25th when Venus moves into its retrograde phase. So it's thereafter that I think if you're looking to make some journey or to make some changes, you can effectively do it at that time. With Venus moving into the upper part of the horoscope, we'll be talking about that over the next couple of months. I foresee some really, really nice things happening for you in your workplace, and some things a little bit later down the track, which I won't let the cat out of the bag yet, but just to give you a hint, some unexpectedly interesting things going to take place in the future there in your in your workplace. I hope that's given you a brief synopsis. The one last thing I want to talk about is the movement of your ruling planet Saturn, still there in the 11th house, just edging its way to the next sign, but having just decided recently to go retrograde. Not so recent, but it's been retrograde for a while. At the 29th degree means it's deciding to go back over old ground and figure out what you're doing with your friends and with your peer groups, because the 11th house is where your ruling planet is for now. Later in the year it's going to move, and that's going to be a massive shift. We'll talk about that down the track as well. Hope to have your company here for that. In the meantime, do visit astrology.com.au. You'll find all your astrological needs met there, daily, monthly and yearly readings, and yours truly if you need a more personal touch to look at your horoscope in depth. Take care now. See you next month. Bye-bye.